Ever picture yourself, like, leading a whole high school department? Not just, teaching, but actually running the show.
Right, it's a whole different ball game.
It makes you wonder, what does a secondary school department head actually do all day? Luckily, we've got RoleCatcher's Career Guide to give us the inside scoop.
Yeah, it's way more than just loving kids and acing lesson plans.
So let's dive in. What surprised you the most about this role, from what you read?
Honestly, the sheer variety. It's like you're a manager, a budget whiz, a mentor, all rolled into one. RoleCatcher really highlights that.
Okay, so walk me through a typical day. What are some things a department head would actually be doing?
Well, you might start your day observing a teacher in the classroom, giving them feedback.
Ah, so it's not just about trusting teachers to do their thing, you're actively involved.
Exactly. Then you could be knee-deep in budgets, figuring out how to, get the best resources for your department.
So those management skills are key.
Totally. And don't even get me started on the meetings. You're the link between teachers, the principal, parents, even other schools sometimes.
Sounds like a lot of hats to wear. And speaking of time, what about the work-life balance? Do department heads actually get those, quote, short teacher hours?
RoleCatcher actually debunks that myth. Yeah, they might have the same holidays, but their days often go way beyond the last bell. Think meetings, parent-teacher nights, professional development.
So much for those short hours, but hey, at least the job outlook seems promising, right? What do RoleCatcher say about that?
Good news there. They say the need for experienced educators to step into these leadership roles is growing.
Makes sense. With more kids in schools and a bigger focus on specialized education, you need people at the helm. So it's a career path with, like, real staying power.
Absolutely, though it's not without its challenges.
Speaking of, let's talk pros and cons. One pro RoleCatcher mentioned was the potential for a higher salary, which is always nice. But does that really make up for the added workload and stress?
It's a trade-off for sure. You're taking on more responsibility, so a higher salary makes sense. But yeah, long hours can be tough, and then there's navigating, those tricky situations with parents or even staff.
It's like the old saying, more money, more problems.
Uh-huh. Sometimes it feels that way. But honestly, it's not all about the money. The guide talks about how fulfilling it is to really shape the educational experience for so many students.
Right, that sense of purpose, making a real difference. Okay, but let's get real. What does it really take to succeed in this kind of role? RoleCatcher had a whole section on necessary skills, and some of them were pretty surprising.
For sure, being a great teacher is one thing, but leading a whole department, that's another story.
Yeah, they highlighted monitoring as a core skill. But that can't just mean popping into classrooms every now and then.
Exactly. It's about analyzing data, seeing if teaching methods are actually working. You're evaluating the whole department's progress towards its goals.
Wow, so you're like a data analyst, curriculum developer, and cheerleader all in one.
Pretty much. And then there's the whole social perceptiveness thing, which RoleCatcher really emphasized.
Which makes sense when you think about it. You're dealing with so many different personalities, teachers, parents, administrators.
Exactly. And everyone has their own opinions, their own way of doing things. You need a high EQ to navigate all that.
It's not just about loving kids. It's about understanding them, understanding your colleagues, understanding the whole school environment.
You got it. And that's especially important when conflicts arise, which, let's be honest, they inevitably do.
And knowing how to handle those conflicts effectively, that's where strong leadership really comes into play.
100%.
So how do you even become a department head? Is it like you're just a teacher one day and then, bam, you're thrown to the wolves?
Not quite. Haha. RoleCatcher actually maps out a pretty typical career path.
Oh, really? Tell me more.
So you might start as, say, a middle school teacher, maybe handling multiple subjects, which is great for, broadening your experience.
Makes sense. Building a strong foundation.
Exactly. Then you might become a senior teacher, take on some mentoring roles, maybe even analyze student data to help improve teaching strategies.
Ah, so it's all about gradually taking on more responsibility, honing those leadership skills.
Exactly. And you know what's cool? RoleCatcher points out that even if you don't end up as department head, these experiences are super valuable.
Oh, yeah. How so?
Well, those skills you're building, they're transferable. Like you can move into district-level administration, even education consulting or policy work.
Wow, so it's like a springboard for anyone really passionate about shaping the future of education, even outside the classroom.
Exactly. But let's say department head IS the goal.
Uh-huh.
RoleCatcher had some really interesting tips on, actually landing the job.
The interview process must be intense.
Oh, for sure. But get this, they have, are you ready, over 120,000 potential interview questions, and even AI feedback to help you practice your answers.
Whoa. Talk about being prepared. Did they give any examples of the types of questions you should be ready for?
Oh yeah, definitely. And they're tough. Like one was, how do you handle conflicts or difficult situations with, students, parents, staff?
Oof. That one's a doozy. It's all about that social perceptiveness again. Yeah.
Totally. It's not about having a canned answer. It's about showing that you can listen, understand different perspectives, and find solutions that work for everyone.
Basically, you're proving you can handle the pressure cooker of a high school department.
Right. It's like trial by fire. But seriously, being able to navigate conflict, that's a must-have skill.
Absolutely. What were some other questions they highlighted?
Well, one that really resonated with me was, how do you stay up to date with the latest educational trends and research?
Oh, that's a good one. It's like education is constantly evolving, right? What worked 5 years ago might be totally outdated now.
Exactly. So how do you stay ahead of the curve?
Well, how do you stay on top of everything? It seems like a lot.
It is, but RoleCatcher stresses the importance of being a lifelong learner, especially in this role.
Which, okay, that makes sense. But what does that actually look like? Reading every education journal under the sun.
Haha, not quite. But they do suggest subscribing to relevant ones,
Yeah.
definitely. Also attending conferences and, really taking advantage of professional development opportunities.
So being proactive, seeking out new knowledge, and I'm guessing sharing it with your team, right?
100%.
Right.
A good department head doesn't just hoard information. They share those insights, spark innovation. It's about helping everyone improve, stay ahead of the curve.
Right. Because what works for kids today might be totally different tomorrow. So it's a constant evolution for everyone.
Exactly. And that brings us back to what this role is all about. It's that blend of expertise, leadership, but also that genuine passion for creating an amazing learning environment.
It's demanding, no doubt, but the impact you can have on the students, the teachers, it's pretty incredible.
It really is. You're shaping the culture of an entire department, creating a space where teachers feel supported, where students are excited to learn. It has a ripple effect.
And to think, it all starts with someone taking that first step, exploring the possibility, and, realizing they've got what it takes to lead.
And that's where resources like RoleCatcher come in, right? They give you that roadmap, the skills you need, the challenges to expect, and yeah, the amazing rewards waiting for those who are up for it.
So as we wrap up our deep dive into the world of, secondary school department heads, what's one key takeaway you hope listeners walk away with?
Honestly, that while it is challenging, it's also incredibly rewarding. Shaping young minds, empowering educators, making a real difference in education, it's a pretty special calling.
Well said. It's about way more than just managing a department. It's about shaping the future, one classroom at a time.
Couldn't have said it better myself.
That's it for today's deep dive, everyone. We hope you found it insightful, maybe even inspiring. Keep asking questions, keep learning, and we'll catch you next time.